I've been writing for 10 years or so, and I've been writing mainly television, so the structure of film is obviously very different to the structure of a TV show. And I knew I wanted to write a romantic comedy, and a friend of mine gave me a copy of this book called Writing a Romantic Comedy by a man called Billy Murnett. He came up with a great 7-beat structure that all romantic comedies actually adhere to. The best ones you don't notice that it's the actual, the beat. And the worst ones you're like, okay, I can see that coming a mile off. So what they are, the chemical equation, the things that your leading man and woman are missing from their lives or that they are having to learn. So for example, in Tootsie, he is his own worst enemy. So we see him in the opening sequence that he is being this great, fantastic actor, but he won't take direction.
You want me to stand up and walk to the center of the stage while I'm dying?
And actually, he is the problem. And the great overarching arc of Tootsie is that he learns to be a better man by being a woman.
You taught me to stop hiding and just be myself, because you're always yourself.
So essentially, you see him in the beginning of that film, and you can establish his character in the first, I'd say, 2-3 minutes of that film. And the best films do that brilliantly. So that's your chemical equation.
What would the vote mean to you?
Suffragette is the story of the women who, at the beginning of the 20th century, fought against inequality to get the vote.
Never underestimate the power we women have to define our own destinies.
It centres on Maud, played by Carey Mulligan, who's a working class woman from the East End of London, and follows her journey towards activism.
Votes for women. The power is in your hands.
No one cares, love. Some of us do. So shut your bleeding cake hole.
The character I play in Suffragette is a woman called Violet. She meets Carey's character and is like this tornado that changes her life forever.
Votes for women!
I had this conversation, funnily, with Romola. I don't think we should alienate people by saying this is a women's film made by women. And Romola was like, come on, dude. Do you think Martin Scorsese would have made this film?
Never give up the fight.
So artefacts from Ridley Scott's Blade Runner are incredibly hard to find. Blade Runner was one of those films that, at its time, really was commercially deemed a failure. There was never going to be a sequel, there was no need to hold on to anything at that point in time. So for something like this to survive is really phenomenal. This is the vidphone that you see Deckard call Rachel on from the bar. This was a fully practical unit. They had a TV screen, TV monitor, it's still present, all the gubbins is still inside here. That was running and streaming footage, and they actually had Sean Young off camera, so while he was talking they could actually dialogue and interact with one another. It's not really one of those things that you'd even expect somebody to keep hold of, keep the gun, keep a small hand prop, keep the vidphone.
Something that's always been curious about the persistent popularity of Bond is the extent to which he's managed to continue to negotiate really anachronistic kinds of masculinity. It's almost more understandable now in that there is a little bit of a sort of revival and recuperation of 50s ideals of masculinity, and we can see this in the popularity of things like Mad Men, where the character of Don Draper has struck a really resonant chord with audiences who have found his model of masculinity appealing and attractive. That sort of coincided with the reboot of the Bond franchise along a very similar time frame. So I think a lot of the trappings of 1950s masculinity are fetishized in contemporary culture, like the tuxedos and the cocktail.
A medium dry martini, lemon peel, shaken, not stirred.
And sensibilities around gender, around sexuality. We see this in the example of Goldfinger, in which his sexual prowess is such that he's able to bed a woman of ambiguous sexuality.
My name is Pussy Galore.
I must be dreaming.
In the novel, it's explicitly stated that she is a gay character, but reflective of 1950s and 60s sensibilities around masculinity, this poses no problem to his ability to bed her.
We were selling the Fifth Element multi-pass, and in dead centre, the man had placed himself with his wife. And I realised they were quite interested When they brought out their phone and started to record me, I thought, oh, hello, what's going on here?
We're really Fifth Element fans, and they have an extraordinary number of props from that movie right now. My youngest daughter, we saw it literally 11 times at the theater because she loved it so much. She says, come on, Dad, please take me again.
She loves the Lilu Multipass.
Lilu Dallas Multipass.
So we're hoping that we can get that because she really likes Lilu, and that movie was really special.
So out came the phone, and the lot started, and he just basically placed his card up. And I thought, you're not going to let this one go. And it went up and up and up.
11,000, 12,000, 13, 14.
What's at 20,000? I was thinking, really? 22,500.
27,500. 30,000, sir. 32,500, 35 now. At 35, 35 I have. At 35,000 it is at 35,000. Selling once, make no mistake. Selling twice, gavels up, make no mistake. Make no mistake, at 35,000 it's a room bid. Selling, gavel, £35,000.
He beat the internet, he beat the phones. He was there. There was no way he was going without that.
Wasn't going to let it go. This is like, the favorite movie of my daughter and I, and so we really want to get this. And I'm still shaking a little because I wasn't planning on spending quite that much.
It makes it hard for him to stop bidding when I keep saying, go, honey, go, I want it badly, and then give him a big kiss when we win.
What's your name?
Therese.
Therese Balavat.
And yours?
Carol.
Carol is about two women who fall in love in the early 1950s in New York.
Carol, who I play, is married with a child, and so of course that is completely complicated.
I play Therese, who's a young shop girl working at a department store. She's also a budding photographer, and she isn't fully satisfied with the life that she's living, but isn't quite sure why. And then Carol comes into her life, and she falls in love with her and gets to become the woman that she eventually will be.
Her transformation as Therese is so subtle but so deep. I really loved seeing that.
It's a film that people think about for days later, and that's the best.
My foolish heart.